Hello everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Imagine you have a crystal ball. A crystal ball that could tell you exactly how much a business, any business from a lemonade stand to Apple Incorporated, is actually worth today. Not what the stock market says it's worth right now, but what it is intrinsically worth. If you had that crystal ball, you would never overpay for an investment again. You'd be the smartest person in the room. Well, in the world of finance, we don't have magic, but we have something close. It's called the discounted cash flow valuation model, or DCF. Today, we are going to demystify this beast. We're going to strip away the complex jargon and build a DCF model from scratch. By the end of this session, you won't just know the formula. You'll understand the philosophy behind it. Let's get started. The core philosophy. Cash is king, but time is God. To understand DCF, you have to understand one simple truth. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Why? Two reasons. Inflation. Prices go up, so your dollar buys less in the future. Opportunity cost. If you have $1 today, you can invest it and earn interest. If you have to wait a year to get it, you miss out on that growth. This is the concept of the time value of money, TVM. The DCF model is built on this foundation. It says, a company is nothing more than the sum of all the cash it will generate in the future, discounted back to what that cash is worth today. Think of it like a reverse time machine. We look into the future, grab those bags of cash, and pull them back to the present. But as we pull them back through time, they shrink. They get discounted. The formula, simplified. Let's look at the math. Don't panic. It's actually very logical. Let's break down the three key characters in this story. CF. Cash flow. This is the money the business generates. Specifically, we usually look at free cash flow, the cash left over after paying the bills and buying necessary equipment. It's the cash the owners can actually pocket. R. Discount rate. This is the most dangerous number in the formula. It represents risk. The riskier the business, the higher this rate, and the less that future money is worth today. N. Time. How many years into the future are we looking? Example 1, the lemonade stand. Let's try a simple example. Imagine your nephew, Timmy, wants to sell you his lemonade stand. Forecast, Timmy expects the stand to make $100 of pure profit, free cash flow, next year. Risk, Timmy is a good kid, but the lemonade business is volatile. Maybe it rains. Maybe lemons get expensive. So, you decide you need a 10% return to justify this risk. That's your discount rate. R equals 10 cents. What is that $100 next year worth to you today? Value equals $100 divided by 1 plus 0.10 equals $90.91. So, if Timmy asks for $90, it's a good deal. If he asks for $95, you walk away. Now, what if Timmy promises $100 a year for 3 years? Year 1. $100 divided by 1.10 equals $90.91. Year 2, $100 divided by 1.10 equals $82.64. See? The value shrinks more because it's further away. Year 3, $100 divided by 1.10 equals $75.13. Total value equals $248.68. That is the intrinsic value of Timmy's stand. If you pay less, you're buying at a discount. If you pay more, you're buying at a premium. Deep dive, moving to the real world. Real life is harder than lemonade stands. When Wall Street analysts build a DCF for a company like Tesla or Coca-Cola, they face two massive problems. Problem A, the forecast horizon. You can't predict the future forever. Usually, analysts only forecast specific cash flows for 5 or 10 years. We call this the projection period. But companies hopefully last longer than 10 years. Coca-Cola has been around for over a century. Problem B, the terminal value. This brings us to the most controversial part of the DCF, the terminal value. This represents the value of the company after year 10, extending into infinity. Believe it or not, in many DCF models, the terminal value accounts for 60% to 80% of the final number. It's huge. We calculate it using the Gordon growth method, assuming the company grows at a tiny, steady rate, like 2% or 3% forever. If you mess up this number, your whole valuation is wrong. It's like trying to land a plane in the fog. The dark art of WACC. Remember that discount rate? Are we used for Timmy? In the corporate world, we calculate this using something called WACC. Think of WACC as the hurdle rate. A company gets money from two places: debt from lenders or banks, equity from shareholders. Banks want interest. Shareholders want returns, such as capital gains or dividends. WACC is the average of what these two groups demand. If a company is risky, like a biotech startup, investors demand a high return. WACC is high, maybe 12 to 15%. If a company is safe, like a utility company, investors accept a lower return. WACC is low, maybe 5 to 7%. Why does this matter? Mathematically, a higher WACC crushes the valuation. It shrinks those future cash flows aggressively. This is why when interest rates rise in the real world, as we've seen recently, tech stocks which rely on distant future cash flows often crash. Their denominator just got bigger. Real-world case, the tech startup trap. Let's compare. Utility company, it makes steady cash today. Year 1, $1 billion. Year 2, $1 billion. In a DCF, the value is heavily weighted in the present. It's stable. Tech startup, it loses money today. Year 1, minus $50 million. Year 2, minus $20 million. Year 10, $500 million. In a DCF, the value is entirely in the distant future. This makes the valuation incredibly sensitive to the discount rate. If interest rates go up by just 1%, the value of that startup might drop by 20% or 30%. This explains why the stock market is so volatile for growth companies. Their value is theoretical, locked far in the future, and heavily dependent on the interest rate gravity of today. The risks, garbage in, garbage out. Before we finish, a warning. The DCF is a tool, not a crystal ball. It is only as good as your assumptions. If you optimistically assume revenue will grow 20% for 10 years, the DCF will give you a massive valuation. If you assume 5% growth, the value collapses. Wall Street bankers can manipulate a DCF to give them any number they want, simply by tweaking the growth rate or the WACC by a fraction of a percent. This is what we call garbage in, garbage out. Conclusion. So why do we use it? Because despite its flaws, DCF forces us to think like business owners. It forces us to ask, where's the cash coming from? When is it coming? And how risky is it? It separates price, what you pay, from value, what you get. Next time you look at a stock ticker, ignore the green and red flashing lights for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine the stream of cash flows that company will generate over the next 20 years. Pull those cash flows back to today. That is the real value. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video.